If you haven't driven on a loose stone, basically when you drive on there, it's almost like driving on ice. So you can easily lose control if you drive fast. But the drive there was absolutely phenomenal. It was the most amazing view I've ever seen in my life.
Hello everyone! As you can see, today I have a special guest. My friend Phoebe is with us today, and you can tell that we have a different background as well.
We're at Ritz-Carlton Laguna Niguel.
I'm actually planning a new series where I'll invite people who love traveling to come to my channel and then share their travel experiences and their travel tips. And today, the very first episode, I'm so happy to have my friend Phoebe to talk about actually a life-changing trip for her.
Yes.
We are actually talking about Chile. I remember the first time I met this girl was last year, and that was the time when she just got back from Chile.
Thank you for inviting me, because after that trip I always wanted to tell about my trip, and I never got a chance to talk about it because there was so much to talk about. I went there because of my work sent me there.
If I only have a weekend, let's say 3 days, and what would you recommend?
Yeah, so when I was in Chile, I tried to Google and for places I travel, and all the information that I found was like you should go to Santiago, which is where I was, and so like everything I found was just like very touristy spots. So this first place I wanted to recommend is really close to Santiago City. Santiago is right now is really trending. There are a lot of like business traveling, and then when they stay in Santiago, they wanted to find some places that's easy to go to just for a weekend getaway. And so this place is called Vapariso, and interesting enough, they also call themselves the San Francisco in South America.
Oh,
just right around the coast, and then they have a lot of hills, a lot of colorful houses. They have their vineyard, and it's really cute. And there are actually a lot of wall arts, and it's very different. Like Santiago is very business-like, but you wouldn't imagine there will be a place in our way it looks so dramatically different. And this place is perfect because it's only like an hour bus ride, and you can also go on with the tour. And there are tons of tours out there, really cheap, for like less than 100
for a day.
Yeah, for a whole day, including lunch and transportation.
Really?
Everything. Just a day trip. Which I think, like, if you only have a day, I think it's pretty good enough time to explore that area.
So what other places that you recommend for Santiago?
Yeah, so luckily we also have some other business visitors from other countries, and they rent a car, so we were able to explore this nature place that's also an hour away from Santiago, which is like so beautiful. They also have a tour, so their tour business somehow is very organized.
Oh, I have a question. So where can I find those tours?
Online. So in Santiago, it's very organized. They have this tour companies. They're doing a really good job organizing those tours, and the price is very reasonable as well. Yeah, so it's almost like Banff. Like when I went there, people were like, that's in Santiago? That's like insane. It's so close. I definitely recommend it if you just want a day trip. You know, you don't have to stay there. It's so close.
Okay, if I'm very tight on my budget, is there any place in Chile that I can go?
Yeah, so we also got to go to this place called San Pedro. Like that place is actually really close to Bolivia, if you know the salt flat. So usually
I saw your photo, the mirror thing.
Yeah. I think during the raining season, so they will have a lot of rain, and you have like water cover on the salt flat, and that's how you get the reflection of the sky.
Oh, that mirror effect.
But
one is
I didn't
so
get
pretty.
to go. If you travel from anywhere basically to San Pedro, I think the flight tickets are very cheap. From Santiago, I think it was like definitely less than $100 round trip.
That's good.
Yeah, and then it's really interesting place. The transportation from the airport to that little village is really convenient. It's easily booked online, and then it was like an hour bus ride, and then we got to the village. It was like just like very exclusive village, and just imagine like you travel on the desert for an hour, and all of a sudden there's a village there, and then like people there are like all from all over the world. It's basically like
travelers.
Yeah, all travelers, and they're all very young, very hip. But there are a lot of stuff to see around there, and you can book so many tours, and you can even just go there and book, and it's so cheap. It's like $30, $50. Yeah, like I can book like
Wait, $30 for what? A day trip?
No, for like maybe 3 half-day tour.
That's really
It's
good.
so cheap, yeah. So yeah, we booked a lot of tours, and I feel like a weekend was enough for me. If you if you only have like limited time, I highly recommend it to go there. Like some places is good to see in the morning, some places is to see in the afternoon and night.
I see.
Because they also have like a stargazing tour. Oh my gosh, I didn't get to go to that one, but that's totally on my list. I've heard from so many people that's like one of their top moments in their life.
Wow. Or anywhere else in San Pedro that you
I mean I didn't get to go to Bolivia, but if you have a chance, you have more time, totally go
recommend
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, to this point I'm sold. You know, I want to go. But do you have like one place that your top one list that you have to go if you go to Chile?
For sure. So this place, Patagonia, it's actually like a region. It's almost like a state in the States.
Okay.
And then Patagonia actually cross both Chile and Argentina. Torres del Paine is the most well-known national park. So when I first Googled that place, I was like, I'm going there. It looks like postcard. It's incredible, but it's a little bit hard to get to, and also like you kind of need a week there. But I have very limited time, so the moment when I decided I wanted to go there, I actually had an extra day off, so I kind of have like 4 days.
Okay.
So I booked an overnight flight, and I just wanted to make it happen because I feel like I have to go. Like I just flew there at night and then arrived in the morning.
So what is the main transportation there? Buses?
Buses, you can rent a car.
Okay.
And then it's really safe to travel there too. I went with a few tours to get to Torres del Paine, and then you have to travel to that city, and from there you have to take a bus to go to another city. I think, and it's like 3 hours bus ride.
3 hours?
Yeah. And from there, you can go to Torres del Paine, the national park. But then I think it's also like 30 to 40 minutes bus ride.
3 hour and then 40 minutes.
Yeah. So
That's almost half day gone.
I know. So I arrived at the airport at 5 a.m.
I see.
So I had the tour pick me up from that city, and then that tour included the transportation from the airport to the national park. So that kind of helped. That way I had the entire full first day to explore.
I see. So you need to start early if you want to do it like that, right? So
Yeah.
you have one full day.
Yeah. So I recommend go like around December to early March. A lot of different things you can do around Torres del Paine because it's really close to Argentina. So you can also take a little cruise to see the glacier. It's really easy because usually people when they go, they take a whole day tour in Torres del Paine. Then they go to Argentina to see the glacier, and then they either do like a hike. Oh my gosh, I highly recommend doing that hike. You get to see the pen, the Torres del Paine, the most, what do you call that thing? Iconic place is you have to do an all-day hike. Either that or they also do like 4 or 6 days. They call it W track. So you can hike for those days to see that.
I see.
Ride a horse or something halfway, but then you still have to hike another halfway.
I see.
That's I think it's like $100 something.
Difficult hike?
It's not a difficult hike, but it's a very long hike. So at the minimum, you have to hike for a whole day. Yeah, round trip.
I'm not sure if I can do that.
It's not difficult. It's just time consuming, but it's totally worth it. Before then, I hadn't been like exercise at all. So I was like a little worried about it. But then like when I start hiking, I was like, oh, this is not a big deal. It's not that hard. And I went with a group too, which really helped because I mean like
you get to talk to them.
Yeah, a little bit. And I mean, even though I was like the last person to get to the top. But
she made it.
I got to see it. It was totally worth it.
So what did you see when you get?
I felt like I saw heaven. I mean, honestly, like I couldn't believe what I saw. I mean, before that, I already saw it on the internet. I saw the photos and everything. And then my coworker who had been there before, they were like, yeah, you know, the photo doesn't do the justice. You have to go see for yourself
in person.
And when I saw it by myself, I was like, I believe, I mean, I know what they mean. Like, you really have to see for yourself. Like, I mean, that was like one of my top 3 wow moment.
Out of all your trips?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I was literally like, you're kidding me. What is this? Yeah. I think you should try to find those local websites. I don't recommend booking through TripAdvisor because they're usually more expensive.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're for Americans. I mean, the nice thing about Chile is for those websites, they usually have a contact information, and I usually like actually contact them and ask them about the tour and stuff, and they're usually really helpful. And then speaking to them kind of make me feel a little more secure about what am I getting myself into, you know?
I see.
And then plus they have your information, so when you go there, you know somebody to reach out to if you have anything to ask, or you feel more secure that way.
I see. I get it.
There's this another place that it's actually the life-changing experience for me.
Is it in Patagonia?
It's in Patagonia. That's in South Patagonia.
Okay.
So this place I found out right before I had to leave for my project. So I was like debating if I should go because that place is even harder to get to.
What's the name?
So the place I searched online is Marble Cave.
Is it natural?
Yeah.
Oh, natural marble cave?
Natural marble cave. With the reflection from the watercolor, there's some part that it's like blue marble.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, that place, like, not even a lot of local Chilean know about that place.
Okay.
And then, like, I was really struggling if I should go because it's just not easy to get to. You have to travel to a city. I think the drive from the airport to the little village, it's like 4 hours, and then from there you have to take a boat, and the boat ride is like an hour or something.
Wait, but is there any other places that you can also see on your way there, or you just spend all this time just to see the marble cave?
And then actually, like, there's another, from getting the research to know about the marble cave, I also found out about this glacier called San Rafael. Actually, when I was in Torres Del Paine, I really wanted to do a glacier hike. So for Marble Cave, when I found out about the San Rafael and they also offer a glacier hike, I was like,
amazing.
I have to do it. Yeah, about this place, if you wanted to do Marble Cave, you can either do a tour, which is an all-day tour, or you can just drive by yourself. If I do the tour, I can only do one place. Thing. Yeah, and then I don't know if it's worth it because you're gonna waste most of the time on transportation.
Right.
So I just rent a car. I mean, if you see the video, you wanted to go too. I see. It's like one of a kind. There's like nothing like that. There's nothing like that.
So how long did it take you to drive there?
It was like almost 4 hours. Yeah.
By yourself?
Yeah, so before I went, I actually like look on Google Map to do the satellite map step by step to make sure I know how everything looks like
in case you lose,
because I know I'm gonna lose reception for sure. So I rent the car, and then luckily the car is really big, which I really recommend to rent a big car because
safer.
Yeah, and then the road was there are a lot of loose stones. So you know, if you haven't driven on a loose stone, basically when you drive on there, it's almost like driving on ice. So you can easily lose control if you drive fast. But the drive there was absolutely phenomenal. It was the most amazing view I've ever seen in my life. Yeah,
so it's a very pleasant 4-hour drive.
Oh my gosh, I was like cursing. I was like, what? This view, I'm just by myself. And nobody could capture this or share with me. And literally like every turn I make, I was like, you're kidding me, this cannot be real. Everything about that trip from the beginning of, you know, the drive and get to the village is really tiny, only 3 streets. And then even like the launching experience is very different.
So now I believe you already have like at least a good overview about where to go, budget, concern, if you have limited time. But because of our time limit today, we are actually going to do 2 episodes. So the first one that we just did now is to tell you, give you an overview of her most recommended budget-friendly and easy access locations. And the next episode, what are we going to talk about?
We're gonna show you some tips that you cannot find on Google. It's all from my personal experience. So how do you travel in Chile if you have limited time, limited budget, and some tricks I found through my own experience.
This girl, she stayed in Chile for 4 months.
Yeah.
So she learned it in a very hard way.
Yeah.
So she's going to share her bucket list and her own tips with you in the next episode.
Take notes.
Yeah. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you like today's video, feel free to like it and share it with your friend. And if you'd like to learn more, stay tuned with our next episode.
Come back.
Thank you for watching. See you next Tuesday. Bye.